I thought of a video title.
Oh.
Yeah. 3 idiots build a K-swap.
Just gonna do a stunt.
Like nobody here working on this guy is a qualified mechanic in any way, shape or form. Yeah, I'm fairly confident that before we were time-lapsing the intro.
Idiots.
So yeah, we've got no intro because it is a time-lapse. So I've got a time-lapsed intro. However, got some good progress done tonight. What I was saying in the intro, I'll start from the beginning, was we've got some, we stripped the rear arches back, got some paint on there, looking all nice now. As you can see, thanks to that, Rich. Just need to get a bit of lacquer on there. But yeah, looking really nice. Got the arms back today from powder coating, so they'll be ready to go back on once we've got the bearings in. And then me and Rich did a bit of a time-lapse video of getting the engine mounted in, which was fairly straightforward, other than one issue with this mount on the back was metric coarse rather than metric fine, even though all the bolts were metric fine.
Yeah.
What's your input on that, Rich?
Send a metric fine thread into a metric coarse, and it set us back a little bit, so we had to clean some threads up and redo.
And then we finally realised what was going on.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
figured it out.
Figured it out, got it in, went in a lot nicer than expected, I'd say.
Seriously? Yeah. There's just 3 mounts.
I told Rich what you need doing from the bottom. He was convinced you need doing from the top.
I wasn't.
He was.
I just don't have a ramp.
So yeah, putting these in with a ramp, job done. Just lowered the ramp straight down, went in really nice. Engine's painted lovely, gearbox looks like that. So I'm a little bit annoyed about that now. However, time was running out and we just had to get this build done now. Things can always come off in the future for maybe a little turbo or something.
Maybe. Depends how fast you are, doesn't it?
That's it, yeah. If I'm not fast enough, I'll have to put a turbo on it. That'll fix my problems.
You just have to put a turbo on it anyway.
But yeah, some good progress on tonight. Probably sort the wiring tomorrow.
Plenty. We've got more technical things to do now than putting engines in.
Yeah.
So we can go through some of those things for you.
But yeah, good progress. We're making mint progress now, and I reckon we'll be done for the 10th for Dyno Day.
Yeah.
What's your input? Yeah?
Maybe.
No?
We'll have to be working.
Yeah, every day. We're on this every day now.
Working. Good morning.
So yeah, made sure that I wasn't on time lapse that time. Like the minor technical issue last time, eh, Rich? So we've done quite a bit since the last video. So we'll start underneath and then we'll drop the ramp down and go over what we've done down here and then up there, yeah?
Yeah.
So down here, obviously engine's in now. We've got these arms on, subframe and everything's on as well. Subframe bolts are on, minus 1 or 2.
Yeah.
That we've lost, or don't have. So yeah, these are brand new hard race arms with the EG/DC2 OE rear strengthening brake.
Yeah, it's just
support part of the arm. These come brand new, these don't. So I just took these off, sandblasted them, put a bit of paint on, and the colour match is actually pretty good.
The colour match is bang on.
So yeah, these are all sandblasted. These are new. Subframe header is now on.
Tegiwa,
beautiful Tegiwa header.
Yeah, the new one. So this is a new product.
K-swap.
This is the first time we've fitted it to an EK. We test fitted it on an EG.
Yeah, lovely clearance on the back and the front.
Big tubes for
big tubes. Powers. Just fitted the intermediate shaft then. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we just finished off. So we had to relocate and mount. You just cut these off and relocate and mount them.
I've already said that in a different video.
Oh, have you? Okay. Well, now what we did is we just chopped up a few different hoses.
Tegiwa hoses.
A nice hose that fits with the rotational thermostat housing. And then this has got 2 sensor inputs. Coolant temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Tegiwa radiator, obviously. K20 radiator.
Right.
Drop her down and
Might want to cut now.
get some
Takes
up
a
top
while, this.
tutors. 2 years later. After aging about 5 years, the ramp's finally come down. So yeah, done quite a bit up here. Fuel system mainly, I'd say.
Mainly we did the fuel.
So intake manifolds come to Ultra Series intake manifold. Acuity, absolutely lovely. Fuel rail and fuel pressure gauge. Got some grams 550 injectors. Future-proofed it for Terry buckets.
Yeah, Terry buckets. Right, so as well on the rear. So from the rear, we've just gone for, because we're going to run a electronic heater. What is it?
Race heater.
Race heater module thing. So these are actually Tegiwa B series hoses that we've just fitted there. Slight trimming of them.
Obviously, we've not got the clips on yet, but we just
Fuel system on your fuel line in. You get an AN6 fitting, which has got a crush olive type fitting on the other end, and then we've got the fuel system coming in. We've
got an inline fuel filter as well. Don't forget AN6 K-tuned.
Yeah. And then you just follow that round. We've mounted that to the bulkhead, coming around. So you go into one fuel rail one side, comes out the other side, and then pressurizes on your fuel pressure regulator. And then you've just got a simple bit of hose really connecting back up to your return on the EG DC2 and EK chassis. That's an easy way to do it really.
If it was an EP3 or DC5, you wouldn't have a return, would you?
No,
So
it's a little bit more complicated for making a return system on there, should you want to be going from lots more power.
And this is why EGs, DC2s and EKs are better.
Superior chassis. And so we've got a mishmash of hoses here, top hose, you know, and then you've also got this section here, which is just looped. When you go running no coolant into your throttle body, you just loop these two here with a little bit of hose that you take off the car. Then we also fitted a clutch line. We've quite neatly had Andy here make the clutch line, which follows the fuel system round and then goes to your master.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what we're going to be doing today?
Today we might try and get around to fitting the shifter, some suspension, some arms,
Brakes. Yeah. So today we've got these hubs, got these nicely powder coated. There. Look at those, like new. All new bearings and everything, obviously. Roll centre adjusters. Big shout out to Dub Shack for pressing these in for us. Dub Shack Motorsport. And yeah, we're going to be getting them on today. Getting fitted to the arms, get the big brakes in place. We will be changing the track bed ends as well. It's got to be dyno ready, so whether we're going to do that before or after the dyno, I don't know. And we need to do drive shafts today.
We do need to.
So I'm going to show them what we're doing with those drive shafts.
It's much easier to just buy some, to be honest. Just buy drive shafts, don't do what we're doing.
Okay, so for the drive shafts, like Rich was saying, it will be easier to buy off-the-shelf K20 shafts. They work really well. Drive shaft shot, insane. They all do them. What we're actually going to be doing though is a bit of a DIY type shaft. So what we've got here is OEM EP3 drive shafts, genuine Honda. It's got to be genuine Honda, not an aftermarket one because these could be different. So yeah, OEM EP3 drive shafts. And then what we're going to do is take these outers off. It should be much easier to just knock them out. Sometimes they don't like coming off, so we may end up cutting these off. But yeah, so you have to remove this outer CV, not the inner. Inners stay the same. Outer gets changed, so you take those off. And what we've actually got here is J&R outers, outer CV joints for a B series. So these will go straight into the hubs with those shafts, and that will work. They're genuine shafts with J&R outers, B series outers, not K series, and then they should bolt straight on.
So for EK big brake kit, just make sure the orientation of your caliper bracket is on the right way around. So, standard brakes would sit on the inside of the hub instead of the outside of the hub, but for the LSP big brake kit, you'd have to just put it on the
EK.
On an EK specifically, so far that we can find out, is the caliper sits on the other side around. So you can just offer up. We're using a 3mm spacer so that the back of the disc can sit flush against the hub, so it doesn't.
EK is slightly different between some of the other Honda models, so you do need a 3mm spacer, which we sell on the website. So search disc spacer if you need to get one of those.
You can just offer up the disc, make sure it's directional, vanes always point forwards. You can match it up against.
So it sucks the air in.
Sucks air and it matches up against your caliper as well. We will be running a set of Pajero RS29 pads which will stick in after the installation, just so it makes life a little bit easier. Oh my god, would help if I picked up the right caliper, wouldn't it?
Why are you not putting the pads in?
Because I can put them on after, it's fine.
That's better.
This is first time fitting.
First time.
We're not fitting brake disc retaining screws because this is a race car and you've got to have lightweight things.
Well, that
and
disc
it
is
can't.
sat right in the middle of that now.
It was before.
I don't know you're even wrong, mate. To fit the LSP brake pads, sometimes if you buy a kit from us, they come pre-supplied with pads already in, which are a sport pad, but we're running a Pajero RS29 race pad in it. You just undo this little 5mm Allen key, take the retaining thing, take the bolt out, take the little gold thing and take the retaining clip out. And it's quite easy to fit pads. Make sure friction is against the disc. Just slot them in nice and easy, not using
Too much force. Whack. Perfect.
Perfect. Why? The job's a fish. This is probably the hardest little bit of the job, is just to, so you just squeeze, line this up so it sits in nice and flush. You just squeeze that in so the brake retaining clip will hold the pads in. Just put it in nice and gently, and then just be nice with it. And that is how you fit a pair of Pajero RS29 pads onto a brake kit.
Just making the brake lines from the 4040 valve to the master cylinder, and then I'll run from the top two into the car, and they will feed the rear brakes, and these two will feed the two front brakes, and then job's a fish.
Job's a fish.
Like they say. Do you know why it's a fish? Because it's a gudgeon.
A gudgeon's a fish.
Job's a gudgeon.
What kind of gudgeon is a fish?
Okay, so another day, another whittle. Yesterday we got quite a lot done. We had four people here, all hands on deck. So as you can imagine, we did get quite a lot done. We did brake lines, clutch lines, engine bay wiring loop, and a few other bits and bobs I've probably forgotten about now. Today we're going to be doing brake booster and charge harness. Show you how to modify them charge harnesses. Because basically, what a lot of people do is buy a K-swap loom and a K-swap charge harness, and you don't actually need to do that. You can use the OE EP3 charge harness. While we're talking about harnesses, we got it wrapped as well yesterday with this quite nice looking tape. Would have liked to put a bit more time into it and stripped all the old stuff off, but time's not in a favour at the moment, so just went over the old stuff, but you know, it still looks 10 times better, so can't go wrong with that really. So yeah, brake lines. So we've got 40/40 prop valve here. Replace all the hard lines for Hell hoses. So front to back of the car is all going to be Hell hoses, no hard lines at all. We've also done the clutch line, so we've got RPB brake lines, RPB clutch line there. Use the OE clutch fluid reservoir. It's all really straightforward, to be honest. So yeah, this is the charge harness, as I was explaining. Move that out of the way for a second. We also got all the engine bay wiring done and just placed into the sensors at the moment, so we know where everything's running, and then we can attach everything properly later on. It also runs down this side, so you've got your cam position sensor, crank position sensor. Here you've got obviously the feed for your coil packs. Injectors need wiring in. We've got grams injectors in here, so these plugs need to be taken off and resoldered for the other pigtails. Down the back side of the engine you've got oil pressure, VTEC solenoid, etc. But everything on a B series you've got a lot of sensors which are the same. On a K series everything pretty much goes to its own sensor. I think the only ones that are the same are the cam angle sensors. But yeah, everything's straightforward, plug and play pretty much. So as we've said before, it's literally just the K series EP3 wiring harness, so there's no aftermarket harness involved there. This feeds into the car and then plugs into the K-swap harness. But yeah, the way things is now with K-swaps and stuff, everything really is just plug and play. So yeah, the charge harness, this goes to the starter, motor and alternator. Just making sure I actually did do that then. And basically these on the EP3 have two big, like, the way that they bolt onto the fuse box, they've got two big angles on them. What you do is you cut them off. So you've just got two spades there. So cut them off with an angle grinder or a Dremel, and then you just need to drill two holes for the bolts to go through, and then that literally goes straight on there. Doesn't matter which way around these go either. And then you've got where the battery connects. We're probably going to be removing this because the battery is going to be relocated to the boot. Just for dyno purposes, we'll probably just place a small battery here and just hook it up there for now. So yeah, this literally feeds to the starter motor and alternator and power, dead straightforward. Once again, this is an OE EP3 harness. You can get aftermarket ones, but you don't need to. The engine bay harness, the wiring harness for the engine, that feeds, we've made that quite nice really. So we wrapped it all, as I said, and then we've fed it into the car through this grommet here. So we just literally cut the top of that off and then fed the plugs through. So you got quite a nice OE-ish looking harness there, rather than having a big hole or an aftermarket grommet. We've just retained that genuine Honda grommet there, bolted back on lovely, ready to be connected to the K-swap harness. I thought of a video title.
Oh.
Yeah, 3 idiots build a K-swap. So when, are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course we are. Right, so when doing like AN pipe and stuff, whether it be the stainless stuff or the fabric type stuff, I don't know what the actual name is of it, fabric type stuff, that's what we call it. A lot of people try and cut it without any tape around, and when you do that, it just frays and you'll never get a fitting onto it. So, best thing to do is just wrap a bit of tape around it nice and tight. I'm using the first tape that I had to hand. Any type of tape's fine. I'm using wiring tape. Not ideal, but it works. Spencer's phone's going off. So unprofessional. So when you cut that now, you'll have a nice clean edge either side, so then you can take the tape off and put a fitting on it. We're not actually going to be putting a fitting on it, but nice and clean still. Yeah. So
Mike's tips.
Mike's tips. Now we have to figure out how we routed it. Right, so we're up there, weren't we?
Yeah, under the next to the engine mount, yeah.
Down there. Make sure you've got really good hand protection when doing this. You know. It makes you useless for us in the world. Keep them fingertips warm. Like a P-clip over here at some point. Probably be able to keep it out the way. I just don't want it near that exhaust manifold too much. K20 pillow. So yeah, what we're going to be doing now is fitting the Acuity shifter base plate as well as the beautiful four-way shifter. This is like a pre-release product. I don't think it's available just yet. But yeah, it's absolutely stunning bit of kit, both the base plate and the shifter. The shifter's four-way shifter. So you got a height adjustment on there too. The Acuity stuff is on the other side of this, but tells you all the torque settings and everything you need to mount that down with. So what we're doing now is the two rear bolts on this base plate. I've got a nut on the car already to thread into, and then the two front ones need drilling. Oh, trusty Makita. So what I'm going to do is tighten these down into place so this doesn't move about, and then just drill some pilot holes and make them bigger, and then get underneath and bolt this through there. And then we've got the shifter base plate mounted, and then we can get the shifter on there too. After we've done that, it will be getting the shifter cables and getting those mounted. So yeah, massive shout out to Acuity again for these, absolutely brilliant stuff. Let's go. Just going to go for it with the drill and hope for the best and try and not mark this nice looking shifter base plate. It's always best when drilling stuff, start with a smaller pilot hole. If you go for the size that you need straight away, it'll take you forever and a year to get through. So we literally just started with the smaller bit, got through there, and as you've seen then, going quite a bit bigger, it literally just went through like cheese. So going through again with the correct size, it will literally just pretty much drop straight through there. Actually fits absolutely lovely, this is there. It's a treat. Considering that, you know, I've never fitted one of these before. Figured it out pretty easily. I mean, there's not much to it really. Two of the bolts are here already, and you just drill 10 bolts on. And then the shifter itself goes onto here. Lovely. Get that mounted, and shifter cables after that next. That's the biggest job really. I'm not sure where to put them, so I'll wait for Rich on that before I put them in wrong and he shouts at me. Plus you've got to drill / cut the firewall too for that. And I don't really fancy doing that, to be honest. Shall I show him me knob as well? I'll get me knob out. Look at me knob, look at this. Now this is me knob. Look how nice everything is from Acuity. Just look at it. Like, I don't even want to take that out of there. Absolutely stunning stuff. Just want to drop it on the floor. Look at that. Fast. So that's me knob. So there's two different mounts, holes, so I guess you can have it further back or further forward. There might be certain applications that applies to, but I'll go for the rear ones for now. I'll be changing it in the future, no matter what. So yeah, you've got a few levels of adjustment on this shifter too. So you've got this arm here. So that's all to do with your throw, I'm pretty sure. So level 1, 2, 3. And then obviously you've got a height adjustment as well, so this moves so you can get your position and everything to how you're sat in the driver's seat, because obviously some seating positions are all different, higher, lower. So you can get your shifter to exactly, everyone drives differently. Some people prefer shifters up here, some people, so yeah, this allows you to adjust all that movement quite nicely. So Acuity do a 2-way and a 4-way adjustable shifter. This is the 4-way, obviously giving you more range of movement and stuff. So on the side of here, it tells you all the torque specs. So you've got your Acuity, again, stunning stuff. You've got your torque specs and stuff on here. They also write it on this side here. What I've chosen to do is ignore all of that. And Mr. Acuity is probably going to scream at me. So I'm just going to do it by hand, because I'm a professional. But no, seriously, we'll go over all these later on with a torque wrench. Oh, look at that! Oh, that feels amazing. Again, it's worth noting, more adjustment. Shifter adjustment, increase and decrease throw. So you've got adjustment here, you've got adjustment here, you've got adjustment here, and this also swivels. So literally all of the adjustment. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but like up here, see that blue connector? Mm-hmm. So that connector there is in the engine bay normally. So what we've done is just pop that back through, and then the K20 harness clips into that, and then it runs from here under there to go into the ECU. So we should be able to connect all them up. It's literally just plug and play. These are for the ECU side, so push them behind the back of here through. You got that's for O2 sensor. And then you've got 2 other bare wires on a K20 balloon. One is for coolant temp sensor, and there's another one. What's it for now? Can't remember. I think it's just coolant temp and O2 sensor actually. You've got 2 O2 sensor plugs obviously, so you've got a primary and a secondary O2 sensor. So that's the 2 plugs. I knew there was another plug somewhere. So you got your coolant temp sensor, primary and secondary O2. Secondary O2, if you're running a stock EP3 ECU, you're going to need the secondary O2 sensor connected, otherwise you're going to get an engine management light on. If you're running like a Haltech or a Honda, you can map the secondary O2 out, so you don't need to connect that, you can just make it redundant. But in either case, you do need a primary. So now what we need to do is standard ECU and everything there. Standard ECU out, get rid of it. The old balloon that we cut out, get rid of that, pull all that out. And then you've got, on the EP3 ECU, from the engine harness, you've got 2 plugs that go into EP3 ECU. And then you've got 1 plug on this K20 harness that also goes into the ECU. So, it's going to get rid of the redundant wiring on ECU, and then we'll get the Haltech. Ow! And here is the K20 loom. So that goes into there, hopefully. Job well done. And then we've got those 2, which go into the EP3 ECU with the additional K20 one, K20 harness one. So 3 plugs into the ECU. And the only other thing we've got to connect here is this green one, which should go into there. So, like I say, K20 harness, literally plug and play. So, I didn't get the car going on the truck being loaded, but it's here at Ultra Wraps in Northwich, and it's livery for Time Attack. Got Ultra Wraps in Northwich. Give them a little look on Facebook. I'll put the links in the description. And then we've got James, Chief Whittler. So if you want to introduce yourself, mate, and what you do and what you're about.
I'm James from Ultra Wraps. We mainly predominantly do wraps and tinting here, but we also do sign writing and graphics, as well as shop signage. I've been doing this for sort of 10 years or so now. We're just literally laying some knifeless tape down. So what we're going to do, we're going to apply the vinyl over it, a white graphic at the bottom. We'll take the knifeless tape, it's got a little vine in it, we're going to pull it through, and basically hopefully we'll have a white graphic going down there, where we can put the graphics now over it. So we'll keep you updated.